was wrong. So this morning, Kansas City is favored by a field goal. My guess, the line was about 4.5. I thought the Chiefs would be favored by about 4 to 4.5. It is 3. I think Kansas City's the play at 3, 3.5, 4. That's about the right line to me, but mostly 4, 4.5. The favored team has won 35 times and lost 19. There's a reason the team is favored. The Kansas City looks incredibly lethal. In fact, if the game was neutral or in Kansas City, I would love the Chiefs. It's in Tampa. That's something. It's worth a couple of points. Can Tampa Bay win? Well, Kansas City's 2 best offensive linemen will be out. Couple that with the strength of the Buccaneers, which yesterday was not their receiving corps. It was their defensive front. Villa, 2 more weeks rest, will play. He really matters. But I want you to go back. We have a comp on this. And this would be the 2007 season and the 2008 Super Bowl. Kansas City is the Randy Moss, Wes Welker, Brady, 18-0 Patriots. Superstar receiver, great head coach, great quarterback in their prime, good defense, though not top 2 or 3, but a really good defense. Tampa, ironically, with Brady, would be the 13-6 Giants. Big star receiver, Plaxico, Mike Evans, very, Bruce Arians, Coughlin, good coaches. Both won. Look at the similarities between Tampa Bay and the Giants. Both were 5 seeds. Both won 3 playoff road games. Both had about 7 to 8 sacks in the playoffs. Both beat Green Bay, NFC Championship at Lambeau. Both led the NFL in playoff sacks. So both immobile quarterbacks, Eli, Brady. So Tampa Bay and the Giants both had turbulent seasons. They were not linear. It wasn't a rocket ship. They both had very good defensive fronts. When healthy, were totally disruptive in the playoffs. Both are 5 seeds. Both won at Lambeau. Both immobile quarterbacks. Both respected coaches, but we didn't think Tom Coughlin at that moment was a Hall of Fame coach. We don't think in this moment Bruce Arians is a Hall of Fame coach yet. Maybe he wins here and wins another he is. So it's very similar to me. Kansas City's New England back with Ross, Welker, that great year, and Tampa is the Giants. And it's very much an old-school, scrappy team with Bruce Arians and Tom Coughlin, defensive front, immobile pocket quarterback, against a flashy, fun, high-scoring team with a good defense. I think there's a reason Kansas City's favored. I think Kansas City is better. I think Kansas City's ability to score quickly is like, I don't even know how to describe it. It's insane. But it's there. That's what it reminds me of. And I will say this. I pointed to this earlier. I always laugh at this, where you get labeled something and it can never change. And it's a prime example. You always hear this about Brady. Oh, he's a bad athlete. Let me ask you, did you ever play high school sports? Did you ever know somebody in your high school that got drafted by a Major League Baseball team and ended up going to Michigan to play quarterback at football? Does that sound like a bad athlete? So Tom Brady, at the time, Michigan was a top 5 program. Top 5, top 6. Tom Brady gets a scholarship as a California quarterback to Michigan. Got to be pretty good. He gets drafted by a Major League Baseball team. He's 6'4.5", 225. And he's never hurt. Meaning, that's a pro body. Your body and my body could not take the heat that his gets. Does that sound like a bad athlete? Aaron Rodgers never got drafted by a baseball team. Had to go to a junior college. Michigan wasn't even interested. Gets hurt a lot. Like, are we sure one's a great athlete, one's a bad athlete? Aaron's a better, more mobile runner, but Brady's almost 6'5". Josh Allen's rare, a 6'6" guy that can run. Most big guys don't particularly run well. Little guys usually run pretty fast. Go look at the fastest sprinters in the history of the world. Not a lot of 6'5" guys. Usain Bolt was rare. This is mostly like 5'11" guys. So it's like this idea I watched yesterday, and I said this last week, Joy is my witness. I said, Tom throws the ball sometimes in the red zone with too much velocity. I think he's got the most underrated arm in the league. Yesterday, he is throwing, this is in Lambeau. This is like week 20. He is throwing freaking gas to these players. They can't catch it. Tyler Johnson, great hands. Ball's too fast. Chris Godwin, great receiver. Look at these throws. Brady's got a great arm. Not for 43. First of all, I've said this for years. He's got one of the best cold weather arms because of his torque. That's a rope. This is a 33-yard rope. This idea that Tom's a bad athlete. He's not. Phillip Rivers, stop. By the way, was Aikman a great athlete? Was Dan Fouts a great athlete? Was Peyton Manning a great athlete? Now, John Elway was. Patrick Mahomes is. Russell Wilson is. But I would say 90% of the guys who have been great quarterbacks in my life, they're football players. They weren't great athletes. I mean, was Troy Aikman an all-state basketball player? I don't know. Maybe he was. But when I look at Troy, and I've talked to Troy, and I said, that's a quarterback. His chest says he's a quarterback. His hands say he's a quarterback. He's a big dude. But you get drafted Major League Baseball to high school. You're 6'4.5". You get a scholarship to Michigan. You get hurt once in your career. You have a professional body. Tom's got a pro athlete's body. It's like LeBron. You can't play 20 years, get hurt once. God gave you a professional athlete's body. Hour 2, Colin right, Colin wrong. Tom Brady going to a Super Bowl. The Herd. Think in this moment Bruce Arians is a Hall of Fame coach yet. Maybe he wins here and wins another he is. So it's very similar to me. Kansas City's New England back with Wass, Welker, that great year, and Tampa is the Giants. And it's very much an old school scrappy team with